just wishing is past. Time for doing it. That's the time right now. Time for acting on your dream. It's time for you to look within yourself. Decide. I'm in charge of my destiny. I'm in charge.
But do you ever hear people say they are eager to live a better life? If they really desired change, they wouldn't spend their evenings just watching TV and wishing they were doing something more.
Because you have to judge a tree by the fruit it bears, not the fruit that it talks about.
I'll be happy when I just what? You've got to be a dreamer. You've got to see the future finished in advance. Happiness doesn't come from big pieces of great success, but from small advantages hammered out day by day.
They have faith for everybody else but themselves. They encourage everybody but themselves. But they do not know they have faith. So you have to see. Nobody's going to be able to save it for you. So we have to do what we have to do. No matter what it is. I want you to know, I don't care how far-fetched you might appear to be to your family members or your friends, or even to you. What you're going through right now is a discovery moment. What you will realize is that you're greater than your circumstances. It is a discovery moment. What you realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. The burdens you bear. These are discovery moments. Not moments when you discover how bad life is, but rather how strongly you have been created. You have to know within yourself that I can do this, even if no one else sees it for me. I must see it for myself. Powerful people recognize potential in people, and people of potential know power when they see it. And I want to share something with you that has changed my life. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Say that to yourself every day. Man doesn't keep pace with his companion. Perhaps he's listening to the beat of a different drummer. Let him dance to the music that he hears, however measured or fall apart. This is knowing that you find out who you really are. He said, but imagine if you will be on your deathbed. Standing around your bed, the ghosts of the ideas, the dreams, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large angry eyes, saying, we came to you. Only you could have given us life. The question is, you God today, what I need, what dreams, what abilities, what talents, what gifts God. much of things. It's not that our troubles are so different. Life is like fall of the just and unjust. Our pains are like it's our solutions that are different.
What I want you to do right now, I want you to think about some major goal you would like to achieve. Think about some major goal. How many of you would like to become diamond? Raise your hand.
It's not what we get that makes us happy, it's who we become. How we live our life, who we are as a person, even take away all the things that we become when we make what. I dare you to stop selling. I dare you to stop selling for average. You put in 120% every time, but you don't put in enough. It's very close. The greatest opportunity you have, it might not be here next year. It might not be here the year after next. It might not be here the year after that. This is the only moment you got. We have ideas that we don't act on, things we want to do, we're afraid to take chances. We go through life trying to seek security and not coming outside of our comfort zone, and we take most of our steps with us to the grave.
Now, what do you do during a hard time, Les? Here's what you must do. Number one is, you must have faith.
Faith is something that's hopeful, evidence of faith, not faith.
But because I did not have a college education, because I didn't believe in myself, because I allowed other people to think of me, to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas.
So you have to trust that God is somehow connected to the future. You have to trust that somehow, with God, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the gods will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart.
And with all of this craziness that I've done to myself, and the people have done to me, there's some pleasure in this trash.
I knew that it was going to be difficult. I knew it was going to be hard. And I had people laughing at me. Les, you're talking about being a motivational speaker, and you are going to become independently wealthy. Right. They laugh. They're going to laugh at you.
You got to stop saying yes to your life. You got to stop saying yes to your dreams, yes to your unfolding future, yes to your potential.
So I applaud you for your dream, for your running towards your dream. I applaud you for believing in yourself.
Universe will feel to me. Life will never be the same. Live your dream.
Good morning, can you hear me? Hello, good morning. If you can hear me, let me have your yes, please. Good morning, if you can hear me. Hello, if you can hear me, let me have your yes, please. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Let me have your yes, please. I'm waiting for the others, please. Okay. Let me have the rest, please, so that we can start up. Okay. Good morning. Thank you all for coming to plan your trade your plan morning review for the 20th of March 2019 with Great White. So, as always, I would like you all to go through this disclaimer. It's very vital you understand what you're getting into. I'm not a certified financial advisor, but I will advise you get advice from one if you choose to go into this. So, having gotten that out of the way, we start off with we take a look at our fundamental release for today. And looking at our fundamental release for today being Wednesday the 20th, we have British pound CPI news coming in at 10:30. Then from 7 p.m. we have the FOMC economic projections, the economic FOMC statements, and the federal funds rate. By 7:30 you have the press conference. That is where you might have more of the fireworks from 7 to 7:30. So we need to be aware of this and also factor that into our trades for today while trading our GBP, trading our USD pairs. So let's delve into action. Our first pair we'll start off as always is the dollar index. And looking at the dollar index, this trend line has been capping its advance on 2 occasions, but it was able to break above it, still holding above this support. Let's look at how it closed off on the daily. Let me get rid of all this. Well, I can't see for much. Yesterday's candle closed as a kind of doji stroke hammer. So this might be a drop. But let's look at how we're looking at it on our intraday. So price found support at 96.39 and there is a close above this trend line. So we may see a bit of a move towards 96.65 here. So you may see a rally on this pair, on the dollar index. So we may see a brief strength on the dollar index towards this level. The next pair we'll be looking at is gold. And looking at gold, gold broke above this falling trend line on the 4-hour, which served as a resistance. As you can see, it broke above, and I think price is currently doing the retest, and it may be moving back higher. So for gold now, gold seems to be in a bullish rising channel. So it has more of a bias to the upside for gold. The next pair we'll be looking at is the USDCHF. The USDCHF, let's look at it from a daily point of view. It closed bearish yesterday, but if you look at it on the 4-hour, price seems to have broken below this trend line, coming from all the way here. But price is currently above a support. So we might see a potential for price to run up to this place, or even here. Should they hold as resistance, then we may see price move higher. But should price run up to this area and they fail to act as resistance, then we may see a move higher. So these are the 3. Then one more other scenario is that should price break this level, you wait for a retest and they move down. So these are the 3 plausible scenarios for the USDCHF. Next pair we'll be looking at, let me get rid of all this. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBP. No, it's the EURUSD. Next pair we'll be looking at is the EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD, this trend line here and this resistance at 1.1360 has been capping the advance on price. But if we see price is above this support zone, that support zone comes in between 1345 to 1336. So as long as price stays above this zone, it has the potential to still try to move higher. But should price go below this support zone, then we'll expect a break, a retest, and a move to this low or to this point. But should price break above, it has this first resistance and it has this other resistance. So you may see something like this, then it move higher. But we can't say. The only thing we have to do is wait and observe and see what happens. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPUSD. I'm looking at the GBPUSD. Seems to be in a sort of a range. As you can see, let me realign this support. This support should be somewhere here. So we have this support zone between 1.3225 to 1.3184, and we have a resistance zone between 1.3300 to 1.3339. So for the GBPUSD, this, and if you notice, this 4-hour master anchor candle is still holding. So for this pair to be very bearish, you need to see a close below here, a retest, and a drop down here. If you don't see it, then basically the range is still sideways consolidation for the GBPUSD. The next pair we'll be looking at is the EURGBP. And looking at the EURGBP, also the same thing too. Sideways consolidation. There's basically no move here. So we have our resistance at 0.8575. First line of support comes in at 0.8542, while the next major level comes in at 0.8510. A move above this area, we have also a high, this high that was created. Let me mark it out. Let me mark this out. So a move above this resistance zone may see price come up to here. So price goes into this area and finds resistance. It may come down. Should it find support, then you may be looking at this. So this is, but should it get rejected from here, then you may see price come back down to this area. But note that this area at 85.10 is support, as you can see on the chart. The next we'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. And the AUDUSD broke above this trend line, seems to hold above it, and before you know, broke back below it early in the morning movement. So what is the position on this pair? You'll be expecting, this is a correction. You would need to see this area at 1795 hold as resistance. Should it hold as resistance, then you see price come back down to this level. Or price may drop down straight and come down. If it finds support, then it may move higher. So that is the outcome, the likely outcome for the AUDUSD. The AUDUSD for now is in a bearish bias. A bearish bias. But we must also keep in mind that the AUDUSD has on Thursday, very early in the morning, they have their unemployment change coming in at 130. We need to be very, very aware. We need to be aware of this because this is a high impact news and it will affect the AUD significantly. If the value is positive, the AUD might turn bullish. But if it is negative, then we may see a crash on the AUDUSD. The next pair we'll be looking at is USDJPY, dollar yen. Looking at the dollar yen, this trend line held as support yesterday. As you can see, price got down there, tested it, then moved above. What you're seeing now is a likely retest of this area. Should this area hold as support, then you may see price run up to this level. Or it may come down for a second retest. Should this level hold as support, it may move higher. But should it break, you would need to see this support, this line at 11114 break, a retest, and a move down to this area. So this is the plausible move on the USDJPY. The next one we're looking at is the euro yen. Looking at the euro yen, this resistance price broke above it, as you can see. So now the question is, will this level at 1.26, this level at 1.2658, will it hold as support? Should price stay above it, then you would have price come down, retest it, and move higher to this area. Let's like to point out where this trend line is coming from. This trend line is coming all the way from this area. So we'll be expecting that if this place holds, if price comes in here and this place holds as resistance, then we may see a move to the downside on the euro yen. The next pair we'll be looking at is the pound yen. The pound yen seems to be just consolidating in a sideways movement, as you can see. It's basically not going anywhere. Has tested this support at 147.30, 147.33. That held and it moved up. We should also note that there's a falling trend line here. That price has not been able to break above. So we have our range between 148.59 and we'll take this new low that it made here. So we have our low. Let me get rid of this. So we have our support zone between 147.33 and 147.02, and this trend line and 148.59. So these are the levels to watch on the pound yen. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPCHF. GBPCHF seems to be trying to come down to retest this trend line. As you can see, trend line is running all the way from this area. So should price come down to this level and find support, you may see a move higher above this trend line. But should this level fail as support, then you may see price come down here, retest this broken trend line, and if it holds, you may see a move lower on the GBPCHF. So for the GBPCHF, if you ask me, I would advise you wait for price to come down to the trend line before you decide on your next line of action. Either it comes down here or it breaks above here, further up to the upside. Next we'll be looking at is the EURAUD. Looking at the EURAUD, you can see price broke above this trend line, this falling channel, and ran into obstacles at this resistance here. Let me realign this resistance properly. At this area here, this previous high here. So ran into there and is dropping now. We may see a retest of this trend, this channel here. Should it hold as support, we may see a retest of this high. But should price break back below it, then price would need to break this trend line here. Trend line is coming from here to this place to this place. As you can see, it's holding price. So until price breaks below this trend line, before you have a completely bearish position on the EURAUD. But for now, the EURAUD seems to be correcting the break above the channel. Next we'll be looking at is the GBPAUD. GBPAUD too broke above this trend line, but it's not moving so much. So you may have a situation of a retest, might have a situation of a drop retest, and they move higher on the GBPAUD. The next pair we're looking at is the New Zealand USD. As you can see, this resistance here at 0.6863 held. Price has broken this trend line. So what we'll be expecting on this pair is a retest. As you can see, there's a neckline here. Let me note it. There's a neckline here, and that serves as a resistance. Should price come back up to this level, let me draw this. Price may reject from, price may come back to this 86.43 area and drop, or may try up to this trend line. But on its way back, it needs to go back below this level. Because you know this level was support, price broke below it. If price breaks above it and it comes back down and it serves as support, then you may see price move higher. But if it fails to serve as support, then we may see price move back down. So that is it for the New Zealand USD. Next we'll be looking at is the USDCAD. And if you look at the USDCAD did a sort of a setup yesterday. Broke below this support. Those who didn't know that there is another support line below would have engaged itself and price bounced back above. So what do we have now? We have a situation whereby if price comes back down to this one support at 1.3296, should it hold as support, then price might likely move higher. But should it fail as support, this level fail as support, then we may see price head back down towards this area. So that is it for the new USD CAD. Next we'll be looking at is the GBP CAD. If we look at the GBP CAD, it's more like it's not moving that much. If you notice, it's kind of consolidating between 1.7593 and 1.7735. So he's kind of like ranging, but you should be aware there is a channel, that's a rising channel. So if price comes down to this 1.7593 and it finds bullish evidence, then it may move up. But if it should come down to this level and break, you expect a pullback and a move lower. So that is it for the trading review for the 20th of March 2019. And like I always say, these levels, you can copy them out and go to your MT4 and place them on your MT4. You can just copy them out like you see here. I've done for some of them. Copy them, place on your MT4. When you place them on your MT4, and instead of you don't have the time to watch all the time, what you can do, like if I'm expecting price to come down to this level and give me a support and act as support, what I'll do is I'll go to that level, I'll right click, go to trading, this alert, I'll select it. As you can see, there's already a line there, or I can place it above because I'm expecting price to come. Price is dropping towards that level. So I need to be alerted the moment price gets to that level. So I'll place it above. Then when I do that, I go to my control terminal, I look for alert. The pair is GBPUSD, and this is the alert. I double click on the alert, this will pop up. When this pops up, if you test it, it will give you a beeping sound like your harmonic scanner is giving you an alert. But I would want to hear something different. So I select on this dot here, click on that dot, go to my music folder, double click on my music folder and look for any song I might want to use. You understand? You could use any song you have, and I could pick this, click open. After putting it, you can test it. So it will play on your music system and it will play 5 times for 10 seconds before it stops. So that is how you use these levels on the chart, so that you don't have to be watching the chart all the time. You just use it to note all the levels. Once price gets there, it will beep you and alert. So that is all for today. Thank you all for coming, and I wish you all a beautiful trading day. If you have any questions, this is my Telegram handle and this is my Twitter handle. Thank you all again for coming, and do have a beautiful, blessed trading day ahead.